Yo, what's up? What's up? Yo, what's up, people? Wait,
What is going on?
kind of fucking annoyed.
Yeah?
Not you. Um, my watch is missing, and I'm
Oh, no.
fairly confident my 4-year-old hit it, and I'm don't know how I'm gonna be able to find it because
Oh, man. He's not gonna remember.
no, it's gonna be a nightmare for me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Absolute nightmare.
Is it like an
Oh,
Apple Watch or something? Is it like a smartwatch?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, man, that's
I'm like addicted to my metrics too. So
of 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 course you are. That is the most
yeah,
on-brand thing of all time.
it's fun. I like it. It keeps me on. It keeps me on task.
I mean,
Feels nice.
I can't
Feels
lie. I
nice
was
and
I was looking at my steps all week in Vegas. I think I was above 20K every single day.
very nice. Very
Uh-huh.
impressive. Give me like
A lot of
10
walking
seconds
in.
and we get this show started.
Okay.
On the read front,
I think
you,
it's
you
just
do
prize
prize
fixing.
picks. I'll do
That's
the
it,
other one.
huh? Okay.
No, we got two, but
Okay.
all right, let's get to it. Let's get to
Let's
it, everyone.
let's do it.
Appreciate everyone who's come through. Actually, I should tweet this out right now, just so I'll let people
Yeah, I'll
know.
do the same. I'll do the same.
Guys, presented by Prize Picks. Get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 and you use the promo code WELCOME. Welcome, one and all, to Light Years. Tommy, I feel like a new guy. I feel like a new guy with this team right now. I don't know how else to put
Mhm.
it. It's strange. Like this off season's been unnerving. I've been frustrated. I've had my doubts in the team. I don't know that I'm like fully over all that stuff, but it just feels good to be over all the bullshit. Al Horford, D'Anthony Melton today, Steve Kerr and Mike Dunleavy finally spoke to the media. Kuminga was not there, but he'll be there tomorrow. It feels like finally it's time to be a real team and play basketball again, which for the better part of 3 months, I felt like was not what was going on. So I feel like the weight's been lifted, and I'm just so down to get into it.
I won't lie, I am thoroughly exhausted. I just spent 4 days in Las Vegas for a work conference. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But I am despite that, I am so excited about this team. Like you said, the offseason was about as annoying as of an offseason as you can imagine. They literally had 9 players until 48 hours ago, 24 hours ago. So, it was about as annoying as could be. But as soon as like now that everything's done and solved and finished, I am really excited about this roster, man. I just think all the pieces are here. And yes, they are old. Like I can already envision the night where Al Horford gets blown by an isolation, Draymond's flailing, Jimmy is trying to draw fouls and it looks ugly. He's missing layups. Steph is throwing stupid one-handed passes, and somebody on Twitter puts outstanding by the gap band behind it, and we look like a clown show. But that being said, I think this team is going to be really fucking good. I really, really, really believe that. And obviously, the caveat is if they can stay healthy. That's going to be the caveat all year with this team. They're definitely going to battle injuries at some point. Um, but on paper, man, like this is a pretty damn complete roster, especially if they can either get something out of Kuminga or get something in a trade for Kuminga. I'm thoroughly excited. about this team. I really am.
So I got to ask you, I've been thinking about this, technically, Dunleavy won the negotiation.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk won. Joe won? I don't know if Joe won. Joe winning might have been a 5-year max. But the Warriors won the negotiation. They played hardball. They got the terms that they wanted, which, it didn't look like it was going to happen for a period of time. And I guess my question for you, I'm going to start here. Was it worth it? Was it worth it?
It's such a loaded question. Yes, and I mean, look, man, they got Al Horford, they got Anthony Melton, and we know the potential downsides with those players, but they're damn good basketball players. Like, this is a team that won 48 games last year, was one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the league after the Jimmy Butler trade, got to the second round of the playoffs, and they got better. Like, this is the best roster they've had coming into a season since their last championship in 2021, 2022. And again, I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. They are old, but they got a lot of guys who know how to play basketball. I think they have some really good depth. I wish they had a little bit more size on the wing. Like, as far as complaints go, maybe a little bit more score. Like, there are flaws in the roster. It is not a perfect roster, but it is a damn good one. And like, their over under win total right now is like 45.5. If they're healthy, man, like, they are going to blow past that 45.5, in my opinion. This team has a chance to be really special. I truly believe that.
I think 45.5, 46 is actually a good line, because if I was to put a range on this team,
Yeah.
my range is assuming the normal range of health. So we're not going to talk about scenarios where like Jimmy's foot explodes on opening night or some crap like that. Like, the normal range of health is the main guys are playing between 50 and 70 games.
Okay.
You get lucky, it's closer to that 70 number. You get bad luck, it's closer to that 50 number. And I'd say then the range I have this team at is between 53 wins if everything breaks a little, like the rest days aren't, too bad. The injuries aren't bad. Everyone's a little healthier, to like 38 is like the worst case scenario with everyone's health, barring like, the season ending stuff. Because we get season ending stuff with key guys, then we're talking about like 20, but like, I'm putting that aside. Like, that's, you could say it for any team in the league, right? Like, it's pointless. It's like, what are the Thunder if Shea and Jalen Williams get hurt? Like, they're probably not that good, right? So putting that stuff aside, in the middle of that is about 46 wins. And I think they're going to be above it. But I can understand where people are like, yeah, man, they're going to have periods of time where they look like they're above, then periods of time where they look old. And I don't know. I'm curious. I'm curious to see how it all breaks out. Getting back to the point, was it worth it? They may have won the negotiation, but I think the only way we can actually tell if it was worth it is when we get to the trade deadline. Because there are, there are many ways this could go. Like, is Kuminga bought in? You could make the case that given the way the summer went, he has every reason to play nice for 50 games to get what he wants. Like, it kind of sucked for him over the summer. I'm sure, bruised his ego a little bit. And he should be looking at this through the lens of, you know what? I just need to lock in for 50 games. Less is more. Get on the floor. Just concentrate on like rebounding, running the floor, and doing the things Steve wants. And then, they'll probably trade me and everyone wins that way, right? Yeah. But, then again, they're humans. I don't know if that's how it's going to play out. Like, there's this scenario where it goes the other way. He's certainly shown not the most mature guy. I don't even think he's that immature, but it's like it's a young guy, kind of on the immature side.
He'll brood for sure.
Yeah. So I'm just like curious the way it plays out. And so they got the number they wanted, but the only thing that's going to tell me, like, I think we'll be able to answer this question at the end of the season. Was it worth it?
I agree. But I want you to take a walk with me for a second and envision a world where all the extra shooting on the roster, all the extra kind of like smart veteran players unlocks a version of Kuminga that we've never seen.
Oh, I agree with you. He should look better because they built a roster where you're like, man, all you need is like an athlete to take advantage of this. And he is that athlete, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
So to your point, like Horford, a big who can play, make, and stretch the floor.
Yep. Like, I mean,
D'Anthony,
go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, I was going to be D'Anthony Melton, prototypical like combo guard in 2025, can shoot the ball, will pass the ball, get him set up. Seth Curry, hell of a shooter. Like they've
Mhm.
they've added all these elements that should get him just so many easy buckets. And then like on the counter side is like they need him to get those easy buckets because as much as I like a lot of players in his roster, they're not the athlete he is. They're not going to be able to take advantage of the spacing that they're creating the way he can. So it does feel like one of those things where uh, they both have every incentive to do the right things, and they've created a structure where if he wants to do the right things and buy in, his numbers are going to be juiced. He's gonna be like 15 points per game in 25 minutes, shooting 58%, and people are gonna be like, "Look how good he is!" And like, it's gonna be a function of the passing and the spacing, but someone has to take advantage of it.
Absolutely. I mean, and if he can't do that this year, it's never gonna work. And my fear is it's just gonna be the age old thing that we've heard for 5 years now. If he doesn't play well enough, the value's too low. We can't trade him. We have to get more value for him. And if he's playing well, we already know what Joe's gonna want to do. We can't trade him. He's a future superstar. Like we know how this can potentially play out. So like to be clear, I don't think like the latter there is like that possible. Like we've seen this story before, and even though this is a better roster, like I just don't have faith that he's going to do all of the little things that are necessary to continually stay on the floor. And like some of that is just like it's just stuff he's not good at. Like he's not an alert defender. He's not good on the weak side. He's not the most
Sure.
instinctual passer. Like these aren't like some of it is like want to and buy in, but some of it is just like it's not stuff he's good at. Like his natural tendencies don't lend to honestly
Yeah,
number
if
one just
if
being
everyone could do it, they would do it. You know what I'm saying?
correct. Like a lot of the stuff that I think Pods is like a perfect foil in a way. Like a lot of the stuff that Pods does, like it's instinctual for him. Like that's why he's a great rebounder. He has really good feel in those situations. Taking charges is instinctual for him. Rotating from the weak side and getting steals is instinctual for him. And like that stuff that's instinctual for Steph too. Typically, like when you look at steals and blocks, that's a pretty good indicator of just overall feel and anticipation. Kuminga's never had good numbers in that area. And it's just because he doesn't do those things great. Some of the time, I don't even know if it's a want to. I just don't think it's who he is as a player.
Not this stage. Not this stage.
Right. He could get there. He could get there. Like, Aaron Gordon revolutionized himself. Wiggins, definitely the same thing. And Wiggins still goes through his bouts of like being very lax, but he turned into a guy who could get like a bunch of steals and a bunch of blocks in a game. But Kuminga's just not there yet. And like you said, maybe this is the offseason that woke him up. Like he didn't have a great market. And if he has any self-awareness, that should tell him something like teams around the league don't value him that much. And, I listened to TK and MT on Plus Minus yesterday, and they were talking about how other teams in the league were looking at the situation and they're like, I can't believe the Warriors are doing this for a bench player. And they were kind of shocked that that's how the league views him, but that's how the league views him. The league doesn't view him as a starter right now. That's why he didn't have a market.
Bench
So
player unless Giannis is available.
yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly. But like, if that's how the league views you, man, like you should take some self-inventory and try to apply the things that your coaches have been begging you to do for the last 4 years. But I just don't know if he's capable of doing those things.
Yeah, and we'll see. And so today was interesting on Light Years After Dark. Today was interesting because it's the first time we've heard Steve Kerr and Mike Dunleavy talk. And I do think actually part of that's where my optimism comes out because like everything they were doing was kind of grating and long and annoying. And like sometimes it just helps to hear the guys in charge
Yeah.
remind you that they're not idiots,
Mm-hmm.
Like so Steve was out there, and I mean, love him or hate him, agree with him or disagree with him, he is consistent. He is very consistent with what he's
Absolutely.
looking for from Kuminga here. And so I'm gonna pull it up right now. I mean, he said this was my favorite right here, talking about you know, the questions were being asked, like, are you concerned that the way the summer went is going to create this locker room rift, this division, all that sort of stuff? Like, honestly, very like normal, exactly what I was thinking.
Mhm.
And what's Steve say here?
To come in and tear a team down. You know, we got a ton of depth on this team. We got a lot of people who can play. We got a lot of guys ready to step in. You know, Jimmy instantly changed our team last year. Jimmy is an alpha. Steph and Draymond are alphas. They run that locker room. I'm not worried about anything. To come in.
Did he mention that they have 3 alphas?
The 3 alphas, D Wade, Rondo, and who was that in Chicago? It was D Wade, Rondo,
And
and
Jimmy.
and Jimmy.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget it was Jimmy. That's so funny. But
3 alphas whose games, like, I mean, just on paper, I was like, hey, 3 guys who want the ball in their hands who don't shoot the ball. Like,
yep, it was the funniest thing. But I mean, he's not wrong. Like, Jimmy came in and so quickly established himself as not just obviously a great player, but like a leader,
yeah.
and somebody that guys will follow. And that's been a consistent theme throughout Jimmy's career. So it's not even surprising. But like, and again, the plus minus guys touched on this. Like, there's future Hall of Famers on this roster, and like that hasn't made a difference to Kuminga before. But like, you would hope after this summer that he's done a little bit of self inventory, and it's like, dude, they're asking Kerr and the rest of the staff are asking you to do things that the Hall of Famers are doing. And like, I don't know if Al Horford's a Hall of Famer. Like,
he's a Hall of Famer. Shut
you think so?
Like, stop. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For the Basketball Hall of Fame, probably. But like, so now there's 4 Hall of Famers on the roster, and you're going to be the one who's being obstinate and difficult. Like, kick rocks, man. Like, I hope it's going to be different. My copium and hopium is at a all-time high. Like I said, I am very high on this roster. But yeah, I just hope Kuminga has done some self-analyzation here, because this team has a chance to be really fucking good, and he can actually be a part of it if he wants to buy in.
Yeah. I mean, tying to it more so, Kerr said we're going to run our offense through Steph and Jimmy. With JK, the more he can defend with activity, rebound, run the floor, then there's better chances he has to play. Everyone progresses at a different rate. Kind of like a hard-ass comment here, but just not backing off of the way he sees him. Same thing he said at the beginning of the summer, same thing he said last year. He's like, hey, man, the more he focuses on playing off ball, being like Sean Marion, being like Aaron Gordon, being one of these guys who does not care about his shots and does everything else, and honestly, just because of his athleticism, will probably score 15 to 20. The more he's going to play, It seems to me that they're very united leadership-wise on this thing, At this point, it's like the most transparent. You want to leave. We would like to trade you for something. So we'll be straight up with it. Do these things, and it will be easier for everyone to get what they want.
Yeah.
And maybe they haven't taken that approach with him in the past. I hadn't thought about this until maybe yesterday. Maybe the summer, which was embarrassing for him, and just like being transparent, being like, dude, you're not a star. None of like, maybe you're never going to be that guy here. Do the things we're talking about. We can get you somewhere you want to be. Maybe just like being blunt and honest. It might hurt feelings, but it might get everyone where they want to get. And that's kind of what I'm curious to see here, because I don't really hold it against Kuminga that he wants more or he sees himself different ways. That's cool. Like, everyone has kind of internal motivations and career aspirations for themselves. What matters is he does the job at hand. And the job at hand is for him to be the fourth option who's hyper athletic and affects the game in 5 different ways, and the scoring comes in the flow. That's what they want from him. That's what they want from him.
18 in the flow, baby. 18 in the flow.
And I'm just curious if, maybe this offseason is the thing where he's just like, you know what? I'm going to prove to everyone I can do it so I can get what I really want.
Yeah. And that's how we should approach it. And like, you kind of alluded to this, but like, and I did too a little bit earlier, like with the spacing and like the passing chops on this roster, he should walk into 12 easy points a game. And that doesn't even count, the couple times he gets downhill and gets to the free throw line, or like the couple isolation buckets he scores. Like, he should have the easiest 15 to 20 points a game on this team. Like, it is built for him to succeed, especially if he's in the correct lineups, which I think I am, and we can talk about this more later. I am really interested to see some of these lineup combinations Steve can go to, like just adding a spacing big, a space five, as as our guy Steve likes to call it. But like, I mean, you could even construct lineups where like Al's the 4 and Post is the 5, and you play Kuminga as like kind of the rim attacker in like a bench lineup with Melton and Buddy. You know what? Like, you just put as much space around him as possible, and you say, hey, get downhill at every opportunity. We're going to play fast. We're going to move the ball, but like anytime you have it on the block and you like your matchup, go attack it. Run in transition. Like, these are all things he can do. And this roster is built to make him succeed. It genuinely is. So like I am excited about it. But if he can't do this, then he might just suck at basketball if he can't succeed in this. Like, look good. I'm being serious. Like, it is tailor-made for him to be successful. And even if guys are out, like Buddy's out for the night or whoever, Moody's out, you have Seth as a deep bench option. Like, they have a ton of shooting on this roster now. So he has no excuses to not be really good this year. And it's exciting, but it's also kind of nerve-wracking because if it doesn't go well, they're kind of saddled with, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. They got a team option on the second year, but like, they're paying the guy $25 million this year. That's not nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited to see how it goes, and let's get to the other guys in a second here, but it's just, it's set up for everyone to get what they want.
Yeah.
It really is. The Warriors want to flip him for a player that they feel more comfortable with. You got him on a contract that you like. You have him in a situation where he's going to look his best. He has a situation where he can really shine and open those opportunities. So let's see it. I'm kind of excited. I'm excited for him to come into camp tomorrow. Before we get moving, guys, I just want to tell you about underwear. And I think it's important that we discuss this. Nothing really affects my mood quite like my underwear. It's too tight, it's ripped, could be a bad mood. Too loose, flopping around, I'm also going to be kind of uncomfortable, not liking that either. And so, like all people, I'm always searching for that perfect pair of boxer briefs that has the right balance of flexibility and support. And that's Skims, literally the best pair I've ever had. Wearing some right now. That's why I'm potting at such a high level. You guys really need to go check them out, guys. Shop Skims Men's at skims.com. Let them know we sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey and select our show in the drop-down menu, guys. Skims.com, podcast. You'll click on it. You'll see Light Years. Appreciate everyone who does it.
Light Years Podcast. We are brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this football season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. We got a big Thursday night game tomorrow, don't we, Sam? Niners Rams. Think it's gonna be a fun one. That battle.
You see the Niners injury report.
Yeah.
Fun is not the word I'm using right now.
Yeah, but I feel like no matter who's out for these teams, it always kind of produces a good game. And like, there's obviously always the McVay, Shanahan, like undercurrent of stuff. They were obviously coaches together, as everybody knows. But I feel like we always get a good game with these two teams. And like, it's going to, as far as Thursday night games go, it's going to be a good one.
Better than last week's, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Seahawks are actually pretty good, but that's a different story.
I think I got more my personal interest, but
Yeah. Yeah. I think at this point, you kind of have to go more on Puka's receiving yards, no matter what it is. The guy's leading the league in receiving by like 100 yards right now after 4 weeks. So his more is 95.5. That feels like an easy one. And then I think I'm going to have to go less on CMC rushing yards. Rams D line is really good. CMC has not looked like vintage CMC. But we'll see. Those will be
my fantasy team disagrees, by the way. That spamming the receptions and the touchdowns.
Well, yeah,
but
I think the Niners are averaging like 3.5 yards a carry this year. It hasn't been great, especially that's very uncommon for a Shanahan offense. But yeah, I mean that's what I'm looking at tomorrow. But I think it's gonna be a fun game regardless. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports takes into real money all season long on Prize Picks. The app is really easy to use to create a lineup. All you have to do is pick more or less on a few player stats for your shot to win. So download the app today and use code LIGHTYEARS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LIGHTYEARS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
It is good to be right. It's a
You can
mindset.
relate. If you
It's a
can relate,
mindset I
then
like.
you can
But
relate.
you know what? Like, we kind of buried the lead here. Today,
Mhm.
Al Horford and D'Anthony Melton officially were Warriors. It's kind of fun. Kind of fun to
Yeah.
watch them. I kind of, like Al Horford, like if you like basketball and you understand the way the Warriors play and everything that matters to Steph and Draymond and Steve, like he's like on the
Mhm.
short list of guys. You're like, that guy's meant to be a Warrior.
I know.
So when he came in here today, like I'm just gonna play the audio right now. This made me so happy.
What do you see with this opportunity?
It's a great opportunity to compete and to win at a high level. When I think about the Warriors, I think about Steph, and Draymond, and Steve Kerr. Seeing Jimmy Butler here, what he did in that second half of the season last year after the trade and how they're playing. For me, if there was one place that I was going to leave was for this. Like I said earlier.
That's kind of the quote. I kind of felt this way with him, but he
Mhm.
just said it bluntly. He's like, I wasn't gonna leave Boston unless it was for the Warriors.
Yeah.
Because you heard the Lakers and Clippers were interested in him, and a bunch of teams are interested in him. He's still a good player. Like there's always going to be interest in guys who can do the things he does, even if the interest is at like a smaller bench role, right? I think it's interesting. I love the fact that like he's just saying it straight up. He's like, the way I play basketball, the way I like to see the game, the way I see the game, matches everything these guys do, and I don't think he wanted to leave Boston. I think if Tatum never gets hurt, he's probably still a Celtic, but he did. Boston's not going a different direction. And he just looks at it through the lens of, there's only one place where I could really see myself playing other than staying in Boston. I think that's pretty cool. I think it speaks to kind of, for me, it's fun to like get annoyed with how Steve can be overly rigid and certain players get, he doesn't want them and he's difficult with them and all that sort of thing. But then there's the other side of it. And the other side of it is there's certain guys who watch the way they play. And even though these dudes are old as hell, even though there's a lot of like, I don't know, he could probably go to OKC. That's probably a better situation on paper. They could probably give him a mid-level exception. They could use another big, like I could see all this stuff. But no, you want to go to the Warriors. Why? Because they stand for something. And if they stand for the thing that you value, there's nowhere better to go. And I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think like the only other team that you could even say that for about Al would be like Miami, but they had so many playoff battles. I don't think he ever would have like really seriously considered that.
They're also kind of in transition roster
Totally.
too.
Totally. Yeah. They're not competing for a title, but yeah, I mean, it's so obvious what type of guys are Warriors players. And literally my only concern with Al is like, this is the year where he falls off the cliff, but he seems to be ageless. Like he can't move anymore. Like he really, like you watch him out there and like, he doesn't move great at this point, but he's still like really good defending in isolation. He still is like good guarding like star players like Giannis or an Embiid. He still like is able to block enough shots. Obviously he's like revolutionized himself as a shooter. Like Boston had him getting up 6 or 7 threes a game. I don't know if he'll get up quite that many with Golden State. I hope he does. I hope he's shooting 5 to 6 a game. But I think really the underrated thing about him, and he hasn't shown this since his Atlanta days, is his passing. Like Boston didn't ask him to do that. Like he didn't really do any real decision making for him. They had him spot up. I guess every once in a while he'd get in a short roll situation and like he would kind of flash
DHOs.
But
it's not as big a part of their game as is the Warriors.
No, they're drive and kick and spray for threes. Like there's just not as much ball and man movement as a team like the Warriors, where like that is at a premium. Like there's a lot of traits of his that like remind me of David West, but I think he's a little bit better defensively. He's definitely a little bit better defensively and can shoot the three much better. But like
also a better passer.
Yeah. D West was a pretty damn good passer, man. David West is a pretty good passer from like those
He
elbows.
was.
Yeah. But like just I think in function, he's going to obviously he's going to spot up from three more, but I think he's going to function pretty similar to how like David West did for those teams and probably play a bigger role. I think he'll play a bigger role than that, but like he's a damn good player, man. Like he is a guy that I mean, I think they probably would have went after him in 2016 if the KD stuff wasn't, top of mind. I think that probably would have been their move is get rid of HB
They
and,
would
and
have.
go after Al. Like this has been somebody who's definitely been on the front office's radar for years and years and years. And I'm excited to finally see it happen. Like Draymond and Jimmy and Al being your defensive front court is obviously they're not the youngest, but that is just so much basketball IQ. They're just going to be on a string. Like the lineups with Melton, Steph, Jimmy, Draymond, and Horford are going to be so much fun to watch. I'm obviously Melton's out for a little bit, but I can't wait to see those lineups because they're just going to. I feel like they're just going to be absolutely lethal.
I think the other thing that hasn't been mentioned is who's he replacing? Looney. And like, look, Loon's one of my favorite players. He'll always be one of my favorite players. But like,
Yes.
you're like, oh, Horford can't move anymore. Like Loon was fucking, moving all the time. It's like they're the same player defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Al probably still better than Loon, just a little more IQ there, and he's just so much more skillful offensively. Like in terms of like Loon's a good passer, but being able to actually score the ball makes your passing a little more effective. And Al's a better passer in general. Obviously, he can shoot the ball. Like they upgraded Looney. They got Looney with some version of offensive skill, which is what they wanted. And Looney, I'm looking at it right now. He played 15 minutes per game last year. My gut says Horford plays 20.
Yeah.
I don't think he's playing more than that, but they're going to be higher level minutes and more impactful than Looney. And it's like one of those things where if you're comparing him to prime Al Horford, you're going to be disappointed. But if you're comparing him to the player he's replacing, like, yeah, he'll probably add 1 to 2 more wins. Looney helped you win games. Horford's going to do a little more. It's going to be a little more impactful, especially in the role he has. Like, to your point, like David West is another good comp for kind of the role he's going to take on this team. I don't think he's going to be a 30-minute per game guy. There'll be a random, like, Al feels young again night that will happen here and there in the flow of season. But, like, in general, it's going to be a lot of 20 minutes and Steve waxing poetic about how he really settled them in the third quarter for a win. Like you can hear it. You can hear it right now.
I can literally hear it. That's happening within the first 2 weeks of the season. I thought Al was just so important for us tonight. He really calmed us down to start that third quarter when we were kind of a mess. I can hear it verbatim. But
it's like he said the same thing about David West. Obviously, Andre Iguodala is like the king of that. There is truth to it. Like it is nice having a veteran who you can trust just to keep you in a game and keep like, okay, we're playing poorly. Let's not have it spiral to a 15-1 run type of thing.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the. Again, like I said earlier, I think this is the best roster they have going into a season since 2021, 2022. And I don't think it's particularly close. They have a lot of veterans. Obviously, there's still some young guys on the roster, and they need that. Like, you can't just go all veterans. Like, they need the youthful energy and just kind of athleticism and pop of a Kuminga or a Pods or a Moody. Like, you need that stuff. Absolutely. But they're going to have a chance to put together so many good and fun combinations, as our guy Steve loves to say. Combinations. Like, you can, again, I said it earlier, but like you can see a world where Al and Post play together, or you could play Al next to TJD. You can play Al next to obviously Draymond. You can put Al at the 5, you can put him at the 4. Like, he adds so much versatility to this roster, and is like, as much as I love Otto, like, and they're not very similar players per se, but like, he's just going to be what he's going to unlock for this roster, in my opinion, is just an upgraded version of what Otto did. And obviously hopefully a little bit healthier too, but like, he's not going to play back-to-backs. And that's why depth is important. Like, that's why it's important to have Post as well. Like, he's probably not going to play any back-to-backs. He's going to, like you said, his minutes total is probably going to be 20 or less, 22 or less. But he's going to round out this team so well. And again, the West is probably a little bit better heading into this season. This is a team that made the second round last year, and they got like, in my opinion, like, no question better. Like, I don't have any question that this is a better roster heading into this season than the one they ended last season with.
I like it. I like it. We got some callers. Should we get
I
some
love it.
goons here?
Let's do it.
Let's get here. Let's get our Bleacher Dave up first. Bleacher Dave, my man. How you
What got
doing?
you on- How we doing, man?
How we doing, man? I'm more excited for a Warrior season than I have been in years
Love it.
for a couple of reasons. A lot of flexibility in this lineup, right?
Mhm.
We got a spacer at center. We got shooters in the backcourt. We've got we got the oldest starting lineup in NBA history. But as a fellow old dude, I'm quite in the value of wisdom and experience.
Mhm.
And I'm excited. I'm looking forward to going to as many games as I can this year. Because I already was no matter what, because we're getting close to Curry's end. But
Mhm.
there's a whole, like I said, this is a good team. And I think it's going to be competitive and it's super fun. One thing I was super irritated about was all the Kuminga negotiations nonsense. Because the thing ended up exactly as
Right?
predicted, and it was so
That-
freaking predictable. I just didn't understand why people were so worked up about why it took so long. Because in any similar negotiating situation, nobody's going to blink until the 11th hour.
Yeah.
And people just didn't get that. And they kept arguing with me about relationship and Kuminga and what he deserved. Look, you don't get what you deserve in this league, and you don't get what you deserve in life. You get what you can negotiate. And to turn this into a life or death, for Aaron Turner to turn into a life or death battle, TO or the PO or the QO, it's UK's cool. You got to negotiate.
I like that. I like the turn of phrase. I'm not gonna lie.
The TO to the
It was
PO.
nice.
It was catchy. I was like, oh man, he might have sold me. He might have sold me with that one.
Like the dude was masterful in his PR campaign. He went around, shopped the shows, and made like a bad guy and did all the things he was supposed to do as an agent, and he lost. So one way to look at that is like he put all his cards on the table, and everybody knew, and you lost in public.
Mhm.
Well, the other thing to do is just like you didn't have no power. And the thing that bugged me so much is all these people were talking about, oh, leverage. I'm like, he's got no leverage. He's not at the stage of his career where he can do anything. This is how this league. This is how
He's
this
not
league
LeBron,
works.
Yeah.
It's not LeBron. I mean, if you're gonna say something, go ahead. Get
Yeah,
some
no,
more stuff.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's restricted free agency, and the market just
Yeah.
wasn't there. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that they let it get there was probably the mistake in the first place. Like, they should have taken 4 years, 100 million, or whatever it was last summer. And so, yeah, I mean, you got to, I guess, give him credit for trying to spin as much as he possibly could. But
Yeah.
also, do we have to give Mike some credit here? Like, as frustrating as it was,
Yeah.
they did not back down from their
No.
position at all. I guess they bumped his
No.
offer by a couple million at the end of the day, which
Yep.
is fine. Like, that
Yep.
doesn't bother me.
Not me either.
But like, they held their ground on, we are not offering you a player option. It's not
Yep.
going to happen.
Yep.
And they got the other side to blink.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what that necessarily shows, because it took 2.5 months. But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, the Warriors got what they wanted. They came out, as frustrating as it was, they came out smelling like roses in this thing, honestly.
I
I want
wasn't
to ask
frustrated.
both of you. I want to ask
Go ahead.
both of you a question because I just thought of this, and I want to hear your thoughts first, Bleacher Dave. What are your thoughts now? He's been the GM for 2 years.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on Mike Dunleavy? Because he clearly has a different approach to it than Bob Myers. Bob Myers, the ultimate schmoozer, the ultimate, like tears. I love
Mhm.
you. Like that. Let's drink some wine, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
Mike's got a different approach, but
Mhm.
I have to be honest with you. I was frustrated all summer, and he won. He won. He got it this way. So I'm curious where you guys are at with him and his approach here.
I give him an A. I give him an A today. He had a different job. The Warriors needed something different from the GM when he was Bob, who he just needed to like maintain the harmony and be Mr. Kumbaya, right? And cry when Durant got hurt. He didn't have to make a bunch of roster moves. Now, the drafts, Weissman and Kuminga will never be lived down. We got to pay a massive ass price to pay for drafting Weissman. And so I'll stop there for now and let you weigh in, because I got some more stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've gone back and forth on it. I think I'm generally a believer in Mike's eye for talent. I think he knows the game really well. He's a basketball lifer. We've gone over this many times. I think he scouts very well. I've been a little bit iffy on his ability to negotiate stuff, but obviously he won this
Mm,
one. He got Jimmy
mm,
at a very good price.
mm.
The Clay stuff obviously didn't go the way any of us wanted, you know.
Classic. I like men who aren't afraid to cry when he's
Oh
securing
man,
his masculinity.
man, I remember like watching that live. I was like, it was surreal. I was
Yeah,
like, is he actually crying right
yeah,
now? Like,
it's a
I
little
don't
bit
think I'd
embarrassing.
I don't think I'd ever.
Voice cracked when he said Achilles. I remember that. Like I hear it in my head. It's his Achilles.
Yeah,
So
And the
he's
thing
a
is, the
sensitive
thing is
soul.
about Bob, like it's genuine. Like that's who he is as a person.
Yeah,
He's not like putting on an act for anybody. Like
yeah,
that's just how he feels. He's just an emotional dude.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I gotta give Mike like a pretty good grade at this point. It's tough to say for the most part because it's like we know how much Joe's involved. We know like Kirk is very heavily involved as well. Like how much actual GMing is Mike doing? I think that makes him really tough to grade because, like I said, I do like his eye for talent, but like I've questioned some of the deals he's made and like didn't trade Kuminga when I thought he should have. But like at the same time,
Mhm,
that might be a Lacob decision. Like that might be totally
mhm,
out of Mike's hands.
mhm. I think it was a Lacob decision. I think he's been
Right.
high on Kuminga the whole time. I think his plan was always to make Kuminga the central point after Steph to help sell tickets because there's a tension here between putting the best team on the floor and selling tickets. I think in the future, and I think you pointed this out the whole way about him not pushing all the chips in and wanting to do it for exactly that reason. But
Mhm.
I don't think this negotiation was controversial for him. I think it was pretty easy decision. He did the best. He did the thing that was best for the team. That's his job, and he never wavered. And I don't, there was really no reason for him to waver. So I think that's the jam. I got a couple other things to say, but the question I've been asking people is, what can Kuminga do besides dunk? I think people want more from the dude than what he's shown he's been capable of doing so far. And I'm
Mhm.
not knocking his athleticism. He's tremendously
He
athletic, but athleticism in the NBA is a dime a dozen, right?
he's a freak athlete, though. I mean, I'd say he's
Yeah,
probably a top, at least just in terms of like straight line speed and vertical
yeah,
explosion. He's got to be one of the top 10 guys in the league. Like, I don't think he has the greatest like lateral quickness and stuff like that,
yeah,
but he's an incredible athlete. Like, if you just
yeah,
have him in a straight line.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't know if you were listening early, Dave, but like I
No,
touched on this a little bit. He like some of the stuff that we want him to do, I don't know if he's like capable of that as a
yes,
player at this point. Like
yes,
we want him to rebound better. We want him to
yes,
anticipate better on the weak side
yes,
as a defender. We want him to see the floor better on offense.
yes,
I don't think he's there yet. And
yeah,
obviously these are frustrations for Steve and the coaching staff and
yeah.
like a lot of us as
And for us,
fans,
yeah,
but I don't know if he's like, and not saying he can't get there eventually,
agree 100%.
but, like, honestly, he does not have a lot of basketball reps. He started playing
That's
at
it.
14 years old.
That's
You
it.
know, like, this stuff takes time, and some guys naturally have it. Like, they just have
Yeah,
it, and you can
yeah,
see it
yeah,
immediately. He
yeah,
doesn't, so he can get there, but
yeah,
he's also 22 years old, 23 years
yeah.
old with not a lot of basketball reps.
Good God, I saw Jonathan Kidd playing basketball as a ninth grader at St. Joe's, and he
Yeah,
had it. That dude, oh my God! But that's such a rare ability.
right.
As you said, we get frustrated, rightfully so, that he can't do the little things that we say, oh, do it. You do it in practice. Yeah, you do. I like somebody's line. You do in summer video workouts, dunking on 5'9" midgets. That's just not replicable. It's just not replicable in the league because them dudes get paid too, and they're trying to stop you from doing that. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Coach from B-Ball Breakdown did a nasty lowlights thing on Kaminga that highlighted a bunch of the stuff I've been talking about, and that a lot of people who are not Kaminga stands, have been saying. So I think that's my take on that thing. Was really what I wanted to talk about. I had to get off my line about what else can he do but dunk. But I think Steve Kerr, I think that's a money line. I'm gonna be on KMBR and talking about that tomorrow on the Money Game station. Right. But Kerr laid out, and somebody laid out this quote, what he has to do. It's the things we all know: rebound consistently, pass the ball well consistently, run the floor consistently to get minutes. And it's just
Mhm.
not that simple. But when
No.
you jack it up and you want to take shots from Steph, and you don't defer and do everything you can to get him stuff, you're gonna sit. You know, 'cause I don't care how talented you are, or how much you want to be the man. It ain't gonna happen yet. I'm gonna wrap up. I got two things here. So y'all know, we're doing a bunch of traveling, and I'm a season ticket holder, and I got extra tickets. So I'm trying to part out my season tickets for anybody that's interested. Bleacher Dave on everywhere on Twitter and everywhere else. I got tickets at $90 a game, 135 a game, and 150 a game.
Okay.
So help me out, help me get there, and I'll leave with this. Shit, did you see Nafisha Collier fry
Man.
Kathy Engelberg?
That was crazy.
He did a Kendrick on her ass. I was cracking up. And her granddaddy helped negotiate freedom for Sierra Leone back in the day.
Oh, wow.
She comes from good stock. That was a epic moment. And Kathy just like, she never said she was a lie. She just swallowed it and was like, couldn't rebut it. That was classic. And I'm really, really happy for her as a leader and for where that league is going. And I'm gonna be a Valkyrie season ticket holder last year because Valhalla is the shit.
Man.
All right, y'all. Wave 'em high. Peace.
Appreciate you, Dave. And we'll help you out. We'll find some people.
I'm
We'll
gonna take some trips up to the Bay. I might hit you up with some of those.
And I gotta figure out, how do I subscribe so I get alerts when you guys come on? Is that possible?
It should be possible on playback. Yeah, I think so. If you download the app,
join
I
the
think
room.
You should be able to set
I join the room. That's what I do.
Yep.
All right, I'll do that. Appreciate y'all.
All right, Dave.
For being here.
Appreciate you,
Later.
Dave. Keep moving.
Throwback. Locker room days.
What else am I gonna say?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
I believe so.
Hello?
Paratosh, what's up, man?
You can hear me?
You coming in loud and
What's
clear.
going on, Paratosh?
Yeah, been a while. Actually, I think the last Light Years pod I listened to was, I think, in like at beginning of June. And nothing against you guys, it's just that I've self-imposed isolation or hiatus from the Warriors, because I was like, until they announce something, I'm not really getting back into thinking about them. So it's great to be back.
They're fucking us all over. I get it. Yeah, no.
I know the couch memes were great. Don't get me wrong, your couch memes were fantastic. But like, I was like, no, I'm either going to wait for Al Horford to either retire or to announce with the Warriors to announce that he's joining.
How did it feel to not tweet out a chair this morning? Was it a relief?
I got a little anxiety. A little anxiety. A little like I felt like I was missing something in my. I'm a routine oriented guy, and I was just like, it felt weird to not do it. I'm not gonna lie.
Who was making those memes for you? I want to know who was making them. I can't believe you were doing
myself. I was doing it all myself.
Way.
He was just using Google Images and finding pictures of chairs in random hotel rooms.
It's not that complicated. At a certain point, I just started searching like Renaissance Inn, Ramada, just like Ramada, Portland. Let's see what we got here. Room.
How many hotels do you know that have that culture?
The thing is, every hotel has that chair. It's a fact. It's not that hard to.
No, now that I think,
I actually have a lot of takes on affordable economic hotels based upon their online profiles now. So, but that's another pod. We don't need to talk about that now.
Yeah. I don't want to derail the conversation. So what I wanted to ask is, I think you touched upon it yesterday a little bit. Now that first I want to say cards on the table, I think is great for everyone. Like, everyone knows where they get off. So Steve Kerr knows that he probably won't have to deal with Kuminga for more than like 50 games or whatever. And Kuminga, like you said, knows that if he's going to get the move that he wants, he just needs to do what Steve Kerr needs him to do. So I think that's better for even his career and obviously great for the Warriors. My question is, for these 50 games, do you think it might be good for him to start and Draymond to come off the bench? Because like we have seen that before, but we didn't see it with like a spacing big end. That will, I mean, I'm not saying that he needs to close games, but like if you get him to start, maybe he buys in at least for the 50 games, and that you get Draymond to not have to like start and close games at the 4 or the 5.
It is.
So I've made this point a bunch. I don't know if it's starting, to be honest with you, but what I need is I want Kuminga and Horford together, where Horford's the 5 and Kuminga's the 4. And then I want Draymond and Post together, where Draymond's the 4 and Post is the 5. It actually helps Draymond and Horford. It helps the team to stagger them. It just makes sense because you got a contrast of styles. You get a little younger guy, more energy with a sage veteran. I don't think Steve's going to start him off the bat, to be honest. And I don't know where Horford fits into it, to be honest. Is he going to go with all the old guys just because he feels like he owes it to them to start them because of their name, their legacy? Or is he going to tell Horford to come off the bench because, well, he was doing that half the year in Boston anyway, and he's kind of like at that stage in his career. So I'm not sure. But I
I think
do
he's going
agree
to
with you.
start.
Yeah, I mean, who
Yeah,
else?
I think-
Who else would you slot in there if it wasn't Horford?
Yeah.
Post.
Maybe.
I could see it.
I think
It'd be
I
the sort
agree
of-
with you
it'd be
about
the
the
sort of
Draymond
thing-
and post. Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, no, I think I am interested to see how it plays out, right? Like Kuminga is obviously going to be one of the first guys off the bench. Definitely to start the season. Who knows how things pan out over the course of the next couple months? But to start, I would assume Kuminga and Pods are the first guys off the bench because I don't think Pods is going to start. Who knows? But it'll either be Pods or Moody. Whoever is in that kind of 2-guard slot will be the first one off the bench with Kuminga. I am interested to see if it's Kuminga for Draymond or if it's Kuminga for Jimmy. And does Horford stay in for a couple of those minutes to space the floor for Kuminga, or do they go with post with Kuminga? Because like you said, like I do want to see Kuminga with Horford. Like I think that has the potential to actually be a pretty good pairing. And having post and Kuminga out there, like you're just too vulnerable defensively. Like you need one of kind of Draymond or Horford with Kuminga at all times, or Jimmy, any of the three. But yeah, I am kind of interested to see how that all plays out. But the thing is, like, these are, for once, it feels like good problems. It doesn't feel like we don't know who should start because there's actually not enough good options. I think we have enough good options this year, so it's exciting from that standpoint.
Yeah, I think I was just remembering the Steve Kerr's comment on like Kuminga is a 4 on offense and a 3 on defense, or the other way around. I don't remember which, but that was like due to necessity because like we didn't have anybody else. But now I think we can play him at the 4 with Horford at the 5, and like let's say Jimmy at the 3. So because like it doesn't pose a problem offensively either, and I think his weaknesses on defense can be masked, like with Jimmy and Horford behind him.
Yeah, and the thing is, he can still, like, even with Jimmy and Horford out there, like he'll play more of kind of, I guess, a 4 on offense, but like he doesn't have to do the biggest thing for Kuminga is like you don't want him doing backline defensive rotations. Like he's just not good at that stuff. He's consistently late. He's hardly ever in the right spot. You want to just put him on ball, tell him, hey, go guard this guy. Don't worry about anything else. And then hopefully you come rebound too. But this roster, like adding Horford, adds so much flexibility, not only on offense, but on defense. And it should make Kuminga shine.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I agree.
Josh,
I like
appreciate
Sam's idea as well. Thanks, guys.
I think Steve's going to start the old guys, but my prediction is he will go to what I'm talking about with some sort of stagger within 10 to 15 games, and I don't think anyone's going to complain about it.
I think they're going to win a lot of games to start the season, so there's not going to be much to complain about.
All right, Tashion, what's up, man?
I think you're muted.
Oh, no.
I think you're muted, Tashion.
Call back in. We'll get to the next person. Gio.
What, can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Gio never misses this up.
yeah. I mean, look, I'm glad it's over. Honestly, I'm glad the season is about to start. I'm excited for the season about to start. I mean, generally speaking, like I'm just like waiting to see. Like I think I like what's his name, Al Horford. I like the team. Like I like this like these are grown-ups, and I like these are grown-ups. Like that's cool to me because like the last like 3 years they just children all over the place for no reason at all, and like bum G League for no reason. At least it's a vet team. I like that it's a vet team, and I'm psyched. I'm psyched for the season. Like really, generally speaking, but hey.
Optimistic Gio, I like it.
Wow,
I like it.
That's like
let's get that. Let's get that preseason loss on Sunday and get Gio Doomering in here.
Well, no, I mean, I don't know, but I will say though, like JK is like a huge factor this season. Just like he is like outside of like the core like 3, like he is the most talented player, right? Just generally speaking, outside of those like core 3, and they need that. They need that wing like sort of impact on this roster. Like that's sort of and like he needs to like be good like for this. So at least till mid season or so. Like he needs to be good.
I have another way. I have another way to frame it. He's the most important player on the roster outside of the core guys because he is the swing piece for this roster.
Yeah.
And whether it's like the miracle run where Joe is happy and they don't have to trade him, which I don't think is the most likely scenario, or it is that he makes it so that they can get that final piece. Because I think when I look at this roster, I think they're a smart team. I like everything about them, but you want that one younger piece who has a little more explosiveness and can kind of add another level to it. He's your best shot at it, whether it's him or whether it's him via a trade. So, you know, no, to your point, he is one of the more talented players on the roster, even if he hasn't figured out how to fully put it together. And he's definitely one of the most important players on the roster because I do think he's kind of he's like the key to figuring out if this is a championship contender or it's just a fun team.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun team.
Yeah, it should be a fun team as long as they're healthy. Like, and let's be honest, are we expecting Steph and Jimmy to play more than 65 games? Draymond to play more than 65 games?
God willing.
Yeah, God willing. But like,
I'll be thrilled if all three average 65 games.
Absolutely, 100%.
Especially Drake, because he's been banged up the last couple of years.
Yeah, and they're gonna need, especially when Steph or Jimmy are out, they are going to need Kuminga scoring. Like that kind of goes without being said. So he's going to get some showcase games throughout the course of this thing. And it's a nice like little thing to have in your back pocket where it's like, if one of our two stars is out, we do have a guy, might not always be the prettiest. It might not be the most efficient. It might not be like the cleanest, but he can go score 25 or 30 points. Like you do need that. It's a different version of what, and we've touched on this before. It's a different version of what the Jordan Poole thing is, but you just hope he buys into that role and like, wants to succeed in doing it. But like that is all up in the air. I'm really interested to see how the preseason looks and then how the first couple of games look, because I think it's going to tell us a lot.
Yeah, one last point. Like, I think pods is also like a huge factor because I think Milton is still hurt, right? He's still
he's out for October at least.
Yeah,
out for October.
At least. So, and I think that 2 guard spot is huge, like for Steph, especially like on defense and just like shooting next to Jimmy as well. Like, so like we do need pods to like take quote unquote the leap, like shooting wise. Like he needs to be like a better like consistent shooter, a better like floater like layup like guy, and a better like at least defender, at least in my mind. Because until Melton is like healthy, like that 2 guard spot is kind of important on this team. At least in my mind.
I agree. I mean, we haven't even talked about it, but like, yeah, a big part of this roster going forward, and by the way, I appreciate you, Gio, is going to be like, is Pods going to take that extra leap? Is Moody going to take another step? Like they are playing some young, even Quentin Post, it's easy to write him off at like, he is what he is, but like he can get better as a rebounder. He can get stronger. Obviously the shooting is obvious, but like he can get better and become a player who can hang out there a little more often on the floor than we did last year. Like all those players do matter just as much as like adding Horford or healthy Melton does.
Yeah, I mean, I think Post naturally has some pretty good instincts defensively. He just like was so physically weak last year, and the speed of the game was too much for him at times. But like I could see him taking a nice little step defensively, and again, that would be huge. Pods, I'm a little bit. I would love to say Pods is just going to be better this year because it's year 3, but he had surgeries this offseason. Like that's a little bit concerning just from an improvement standpoint. But I would think just more experience. Like he got his first real playoff experience last year. Like that should have him more comfortable coming into this season, a little bit more confident. So like that, like you said, this is stuff that we haven't really discussed yet. But if all those like young 3 guys, like they kind of take just a step forward, I would not even call it a leap. They just kind of mature naturally as players. Like those are huge developments. Those will help you win games when number one, your stars are out, or the nights where they just don't have it. They're just kind of like tired and out to lunch.
Abdullah, what's up, man?
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're coming in clear.
How's it going? I'm excited for the season. I'm also excited that Kuminga got signed and we got a roster. Now I can get into the NBA trade machine. I know exactly what the numbers are. I'm educated now. I'm not just guessing. I'm not figuring out what that contract's going to look like for Kuminga.
Yep.
So the chat's going crazy with all these hypothetical trades. And to be honest with you, I looked at it the other day, and it's fascinating because if you look at JK's number, like I knew around what it was going to be, the landscape in terms of guys between like 25 to 40, it's not that much. Like because of the CBA and stuff, it's like a small group of players that fall into that salary range, which I assume is what we're targeting. Who knows? Maybe we go the other way and we trade them off for like 2 mid-tier role players. I hope that's not the case, but maybe. And most of those guys are not Warriors guys. They're not guys that they're going to target. I just know that. So there's really only a handful of dudes. And so to me, I feel like if it's only a handful of dudes, they're guys that everybody wants, and they're guys that they're going to have to pay up for. And so that gets back to Sam's point of we're not allowed to trade first-round picks. So I think we're going to have to trade first-round picks. And so this is my question for both of you guys.
For Giannis?
No, we're not doing the Giannis thing. We're not doing the Giannis thing. What JK is going to be on the roster until at least January 15th. So say 40 to 50 games. Let's just say 50. What do you each think the record has to be for Joe to actually give up first-round picks for like a real difference maker? Let's say Trey. Let's just use Trey Murphy as the example. What is the record got to be? 50 games in.
This is the ultimate catch-22 though, because if the record is really good, we don't. There's so many angles to like go with this, but like we don't need to like we're good enough. We can win the championship like this. We don't have to give up first-round picks. And if the record is really good, then that probably means Kuminga is playing well and fitting in. Like I think they can do it without him, but if they're like 35-15 or something like that after 50 games, like that probably means Kuminga is like at least a
35-15 is aggressive. 35-15 is aggressive.
I believe in this fucking team, man. I believe in this team like crazy. Like my only concern is like agent injuries. If they can avoid like the true pitfalls of those things, they are going to be top 4 seed in the West. I don't have many doubts about that, honestly. Like I really don't. Like Houston without Van Vliet, the Lakers are Luka's fat still. I don't care what anybody says. Like he got in shape. It doesn't matter to me.
Did you see the report? He came out and said, yeah, it was 270 last year.
That feels low. He looked awful. I don't know. I don't trust Luka, as crazy as that is to say. Like I think the Warriors can be a pretty good antidote to him for a lot of reasons. Like typically guys like that have not given them the most issues in important moments. Like Minnesota's good, but like they don't scare me. I just think this team has a chance to be like really damn good. But again,
this
if we're going back to the trade part,
I think skinny Luka might be worse. I think fat Luka. Luka might actually be a problem because he bullies people. He's sneaky fat and sneaky strong. Let's see what skinny Luka looks like because he likes to work out of the post. And with his skinny light ass now, let's see how if he gets pushed around in the post now.
First off, a lot of that quickness to Tommy's point, he's not that skinny. But
no. And a lot of that quickness he had when he was skinny, like at the start of his career, is gone now. Like I don't think that's ever coming back for him because he just gained too much weight. But it's like I wish I could give you a good answer, Abdullah, but like I don't know about the trade because I don't have any faith to Sam's general point. Like they don't move first round picks. It doesn't happen. It was shocking that they moved just one for Jimmy, so like I wish I could give you a good answer to this, but I just don't have faith that they'll actually do anything meaningful unless it's Giannis.
I thought there was a chance maybe one of you guys would go the other way because I thought about this. What if we're 26 and 24 and Mike Dunleavy's like, this ain't working. Panic button. We have to do something. Is there any way that you think they could convince Joe to move some first in that situation? Or he's like, nope, the season's a wash.
I think it's too fluid to make that decision. But with that said, past precedent isn't one to make any of us optimistic about this entire thing. So I want to see how it plays out. They have every incentive to want to move him. I'm going to be honest with you. Like the way the negotiation played out, the way that it was leaked that like this is a contract that's meant to be traded. Like there's no more like pretending anymore. So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree, guys. I feel like maybe I'm stupid, maybe I'm being overly optimistic, but everything about this offseason makes me feel like they're finally being serious about like we got 2 years. And so I think they'll move them. I think there's actually a chance that we might actually include a first round pick, but we'll see.
Don't get too
Maybe
excited about that.
pigs will fly too. Like I don't know what to tell you.
Anything's possible, guys. We are living in the end times. I mean, just turn on the TV and watch the news. Anything is possible. So
Appreciate you, Abdullah.
appreciate it, guys.
Yes.
McWalters.
The closer. The closer.
What's up?
What's up, dude?
I do appreciate the guy that just called in though. We got to get the trade machine going. I mean, I literally have like the Fanspo thing on another tab here. Just, like, I'm ready.
I love it.
I'm honest. Part of me wants him just to like, hey, here's a hotel room. Just hang out for 4 months. Don't travel with us. You're dead money.
I mean, it's not out of the realm that's how it ends. That's how it plays.
Totally.
I don't think so. But there's a world where he plays well for 10 games and then they put him on ice. They're just like we're not messing with
that.
I don't think it's the most likely scenario. I think it's possible.
I mean, anything's possible there, really. But like, could we get a Vooch? You know, could we get something helpful that would help?
We got Vooch at home.
We do have Vooch at home. We do. Quentin Post. I'd rather have Quentin Post than Vooch.
Fair
it's
enough.
Not $20 million, and Vooch is just going to demand too much time and touches.
So
and stuff
the
like that.
chat's mentioning this. Everyone wants Trey Murphy.
Yeah, he's not coming. We're not getting Trey Murphy.
3 first-round picks. Joe's never doing that.
Joe doesn't have the gumption to trade away a future that doesn't include any of the three, the old four. I said in the chat, the old four. Right, they're all done in 2 years. He ain't trading anything past 2 years. He ain't doing it.
Yep.
Unless it's
death to his future plans. He ain't doing it. And we should all just swallow that pill. We ain't trading anything past, 28. It ain't happening. And so what you have to do is you have to be creative and take someone else's dead thing and keep the thing going, right? Which is what we didn't do when we just sat on Chris Paul, right?
Mhm.
Like we just let that money die.
So you mean like the Andrew Wiggins,
die.
where you mean like the Andrew Wiggins, where he was kind of dead weight in Minnesota.
Yeah, look at
but then you get him in a new environment. You're like, hey, he's actually not a bad player if you get him in the right system and the right support structure.
Yeah, look at Bridges over in Charlotte, right? What if they decide, hey, we need to actually free it up for Miller. He's got another year on the salary. We need to get out of this, right? Distressed asset. No one, these kind of toxic around the league. Great. Now we don't have to give up picks. Awesome. Their salaries are almost the same. Perfect. Yeah. Right? Let's do it. And again, who can keep them alive? Freaking Draymond, right? Like
Michigan State guys,
Michigan State guys, right? Like if anyone's gonna help rehab this dude, it's gonna be freaking Draymond, or else that guy's finished.
Yeah, I mean, I like Bridges as a player. Like I think he actually is a good basketball player. It's just it's a thing that I'm like not willing to like go there on in a way.
I hear you on that.
And I don't think the organization wants to take that black eye, honestly. Like,
but I do think you're hitting at the right point, which is like instead, like everyone and their mom wants Trey Murphy. Like find the guy who's not obvious. Yeah, and that's definitely a good example of one.
Yeah, and there's others like you could talk to Detroit about Tobias Harris, right? Like
hate it.
Yeah, it's not bad. He makes a little too much over Kuminga, so you'd have to include something else. But like there are those distressed assets out there, and that's what you're doing. This is just like when the housing market died, right? Like, hey, what distressed asset can I buy in Red State X for pennies on the dollar because I'm California and have oodles of money, right? Like it's the same thing. Hey, what can Joe buy? And that's what he's more likely to lean to and not sacrifice the future. That's pulling keys of emergency. And
this
we would have done it years ago. When we had more assets. We didn't do it when we had more assets. Why would we do it now? It doesn't make
I think a guy that's actually like really interesting to me, and like they already have kind of enough guards, but he's a bigger guard. I really like Quentin Grimes. I know he couldn't get stuff worked out with Philly. They have too many guards. They need wings. The money's a little bit complicated because Kuminga's $23 million.
Yeah,
Grimes signed his qualifying offer at
yeah,
8.7.
he can't be
Yeah,
traded.
yeah. No, I think he has a no trade clause.
He's a
but I
no
think-
trade.
So he can be traded. It's just he has to essentially okay it. But it sounds like he wants to get out of there kind of regardless. The money's complicated because obviously Philly is they're definitely over the first apron. I know that for a fact. So the money would be difficult to make work. They'd probably have to send a player out to a third team, but you could probably work something that's like Grimes and I don't know, Oubre or one of their other like kind of lower to mid-sized contracts for Kuminga. And that's one that's really interesting to me. Like Grimes is a legitimate shooter and legitimate scorer. We saw, I mean, shit. He averaged 22 points a game for like the last 30 games of the year. We saw what he did to us in Philly in that game where Jimmy was out. Like the guy can really score the basketball. And again, we do have a lot of guards, but he's like 6'5", 205, long enough wingspan. Like he's just a really interesting player to me and like is just a better version of Buddy, honestly, and younger.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what they have to do. They have to look around the league for those 20 million range, 26 million range. The guy, like we were talking about with Monk in the offseason, right? He's the type of guy where everyone's like, I don't know about that salary slot. And that's what you're going to get, right? And, could you pick him up? Could you get a Caldwell Pope from Memphis? Because Memphis isn't going anywhere without Jared Jackson, right? Can you get an asset from them, right? That's what they should be looking at.
Yeah, and I think that actually is a situation where if they'd send Kuminga to Memphis, I think you would get a pick back.
Absolutely, you would get a pick. And if you could get Caldwell Pope,
yeah, that's a veteran. He was really bad last year in Charlotte, but in Orlando, but I think there is more in the tank there still.
Yeah, well, and the threat of his shot. Right? When you have another shooter, right? It's like when we brought Buddy in, right? Buddy's super inconsistent. Well, Buddy's a lot better when Steph's gravity makes the world wide open to you. Imagine how Caldwell Pope's me, and that guy can play defense.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, I'm going to end on this. Buddy Hield going to lead the league in 3-point percentage this year. Book it.
Whoa!
I'm putting that on the record right now.
That's your prize pick.
That's my take.
That going to be your prize pick.
I thought he shot it below par relative to his standards last year.
Yeah.
Guys like him, he shot 37% last year. I would not be surprised if he shot 47% this year. Nets out to actually what he really is, which is like 42% shooter. Watch it.
And it's a better offensive environment in general this year. Like he's just going to get way more open shots from the beginning of the season on.
Yeah, unless Kuminga takes all those shots, just drive.
Don't go there. It's a positive night, McWalter. It's a positive night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Walters
we were icing him. I forgot.